Right, moving on to tomorrow's potential trades. I mentioned earlier in the week, at the weekend, that with the pound, we were looking for price to either react with this line, pardon me, or this area down here. Well, lo and behold, we're now down at this trend line that goes back to late May time. So this line has held as support. We've had bullish candles on a number of occasions with it. This is a crucial area. Now what we need to look for tomorrow, if we're trading purely off the daily, then we have to wait for either a candle to break through and close below, or to bounce back off. If, however, you were to go on to shorter time frames, then you will have a better idea. So for example, on a 1 hour chart, if this candle came down and closed down, and then the next candle opens and moves further down, you could, if you were trading off a 1 hour chart, look at it that way. In current markets, I'm tending to trade more and more off the 4 hour. And what's happening on the 4 hour chart at the moment, price is now hesitating strongly in this resistance area. If price, this candle for example, was to come down here, I would be very interested in shorting, because there is a good potential drop here with the pound. However, 16300 is another strong psychological area. This is the area that's held all summer. So my suspicion is more up than down, but that's only a gut feeling. The other thing is there has been some fundamental news out of Britain today suggesting that new mortgages have improved, and the currency at the moment seems to be suffering from some negative mentality. Sometimes currencies, they suffer, everybody gets the impression, now the pound's finished, now it's down. I've seen this before with the dollar. There have been times a few years ago with the dollar that good news would come out, the dollar would go down. Brilliant news would come out for the dollar would go down. And it was just that market sentiment was against the dollar. I strongly suspect that the pound is not going to stay down here. And certainly, at the moment, the pound is falling against the euro. There are rumours within the industry who suggest that there is bad news to come out for the euro, and that situation could change. But anyway, on a specific, tomorrow on the daily chart you would have to wait and see what happens. If you were trading on a shorter time frame, then there is an opportunity tomorrow to look for a decent long or a decent short, depending on what this next candle does. Similarly, the Swissy. Now the Swissy, again, earlier in the week, at the weekend I mentioned that we'd had this, and this support line goes back quite a way. This line hasn't broken. This was December 2008 that this area broke. This is serious support line. Now, the only problem is that we're not getting much movement. So today's candle, although it bounced back off again, you could have had a small stop here and had a go, but there wasn't really an indication that that's the way the market would go, bearing in mind that we're looking only at the daily charts here. If we go down to smaller time frames again, then we have a different situation, because we've got all the AMAs showing. For example, here, price has come down. It's almost touched this trend line again. I mean, this area is a little bit fluid, but it's come down, touched, or as near as damn it touched. The 5s changed direction up, 5-8 cross up. The stochastics are up on this particular pair as well. So there are lots of things to suggest it's going to do it again. But again, if we are trading purely from the daily, then really, at the moment, we haven't got a definite indicator of what's going to happen. The euro, as I explained to you before, once the Swissy is going down, the euro is going up, and vice versa. Now again, the euro on the daily, yesterday it broke through but failed to close above this major resistance area. And this area has been support before, resistance, 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 and again today we now have a doji spinning top candle, major indecision. But if you look at the euro and we place the Swissy side by side, then the suspicion is that this pair is due to go up again and this one is due to go down. But really we're now in the realms of reading tea leaves and guesstimating. If we're going to learn to trade daily charts, we need to be patient. Once the markets start to trend again, as I showed you earlier with the British pound, things will be much easier. For now, again, there are many pairs that are just bouncing around. The yen has bounced in this tiny little area for the last few days. The Aussie dollar is in no man's land again. We had a complete indecision day yesterday, and today's been exactly the same. The big boys come back to the market next weekend, and from then on I expect that the markets will have a shakeout and we will start to see trending again. I hope you enjoy the daily video. It's a learning curve for all of us. As I mentioned to you at the beginning of the week, this is not to trade to place money. Trades that I am showing you that I have taken, I have simply taken on a demo, and I am playing around with it, and I am not putting real money near it. You should not too. Right, catch you tomorrow.